All right. Today we are going to talk about the top mistake you're going to make in 2025. My name is Idris Talib. I'm known as a pretty house guy, and I teach high achievers how they can have a second chance at retirement. And one of the things that I've noticed is over the years, we all have these wonderful New Year's resolutions. What are they? We're all going to lose weight. We're going to make more money. We're going to set ourselves up to have a strong year. And yet, year by year by year, what ends up happening is that we don't quite make the progress that we anticipate. In the very beginning, we're very motivated, we're pumped up, we're ready to just take on the world. But what happens? We start getting complacent, we start making excuses, and then as a result, we become creatures of habit and we start to resort back to what we've been doing every single step of the way. So, what I want to do is, I want to go over the top reason you would not be successful 2025. This is the number one mistake. And basically, what it is it's over education. And let's just really think about it. Us as high achievers, we believe that, information is king. Information is the missing piece that's going to allow us to have success. But what happens as we start educating ourselves? The more that it seems like we learn, the more we realize we really don't know. And what happens when that happens? Now, it starts to create some anxiety inside of us. Now, if you're on TikTok, if you want to be able to comment, you can actually join us either on YouTube or Facebook. Okay. I see you now. Hey, sweetheart. It's my daughter up here. My daughter's joining live. But nonetheless, right now, I'm streaming right now on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, as well as TikTok right here. So let me tell y'all, any of you are watching this from my personal Facebook page, I want you to go join the Pretty House Guy, because what that's going to do is I'm going to start streaming live starting 2025 from my business page. Okay. So anyway, let's go ahead and get this party started. All right. Now, I want to tell y'all a little story. I want you to really think about once children are born, and my daughter, she's up here right now watching me. Now, when children are born, let's just think about their progression to be able to walk, right? I want you to imagine if we would read books to our children to try to teach them how to walk. We're just constantly picking up a book and we're reading a story. Okay, sweetheart, this is how you walk. How much progress would they make? What do children typically do? When they're first born, they're able to lie on their backs, and then they're able to lie on their stomach. And eventually, they can roll over. And then eventually they start crawling, and then they start taking 2 steps and they fall down. They start taking 5 steps and they fall down. But eventually they start to get their balance. The reason why they're able to do that is because they are executing rather than having so much education. Right now we're in the information age. So we can get information from anywhere. Google, you got YouTube, and now you got AI. I mean, you can learn anything that you want to learn on this planet. And what happens with a lot of us who are highly educated, what do? We want to take in all of this before we get started. Well, I need to learn every single step to make sure I don't make a mistake. But as human beings, that's not realistic, is it? How do human beings process information? We learn by doing. We execute. If we make a mistake, we go back and we start all over again. We learn from that mistake. And eventually what's going to happen is we create patterns of behavior that's going to allow us to have some sort of success. I know the first major job that I had out of college, it was with Northwestern Mutual Financial Network. Okay. And it was a very esteemed position. I'm coming out of school, majoring in engineering, so I'm smart. And I said, you know what? If I learn every single thing about these financial instruments, that's going to allow me to make more money. And, I was studying, I was getting all these certifications. But you know what? We had these other guys in here who were kicking my tail, and they didn't know anything whatsoever. It's because they were actually going out and executing. And to me, executing is every single thing, especially when it comes to business. A lot of us were taught, go to school, make good grades, study hard, get a good job, go through all the training protocols and everything, and then we'll have some success. But that's not how it works in entrepreneurship. If you're really going to make money in entrepreneurship, we have to really just put ourselves out there. we're going to create a framework of what it is that we're looking to do, and then we put ourselves out there. I'm in the real estate investment business, and the most beautiful part about what I do is we lower your level of risk to get started in this business. Most people, when they think about investing in real estate, they think they need all this money and they need to have perfect credit. Well, that's not the case with the way that I share of how you can make money in real estate. The most beautiful thing about shared living investing is that no matter how you're positioned financially, you can get started right now within the next 30 to 45 days. You can actually have cash flow hitting your bank account. The thing is, the students that I've seen that are most successful are the ones who go out and execute. And that's why they hire me as their coach. I'm going to actually put you out there in the line of action so you can start making some money. And many of them do within, like I said, within 30 to 45, sometimes 60 days. That's all it takes. But nonetheless, tonight what I want to go over is I got 3 main points. The first thing that you want to do when you get started with any type of endeavor is you kind of want to think about, okay, what is my end goal? Whatever your end goal is, that's your overall objective. And with that overall objective, you want to start reverse engineering what are the specific steps that it's going to take for you to be able to hit that goal. And then you have to go out and you have to actually execute. Just go out, take one step that's going to put you in a direction going towards your goal. And 1 or 2 things are going to happen, okay? Either you're going to move closer towards your goal, or you may have a challenge or some type of an obstacle and you fall back a little bit from it. But that's not necessarily bad, that's good. Because what that is doing is it's giving you feedback. It's giving you feedback. Okay, what you did not work. So now I need to do something different. So now you do something different, and then you keep following those tests. Keep following those tests over and over and over again, and that's how you're going to build up some momentum. Give me 1 second, y'all. I need to figure out how to clear out this screen. Yeah, okay. You said okay. You want to learn how to use AI for marketing? Yeah. We can definitely go over. That. So what I do is, in terms of answering your question, and if any of y'all want to ask any questions, I'll be happy to answer those questions. So what I do is I would talk to AI like I would just talk to a regular person. For example, let's just hypothetically say that, do you have a specific question you want me to ask? Or I can just create a scenario. So what I'll do is, if there's any information that I wanted to know, let's just say that I'm getting started with the shared living investing. And let's just say I'm in any city in the United States of America, okay? As a matter of fact, I did this. I can share my screen with you if you like. Let me share my screen with you. Now, if you're on TikTok, you're not going to be able to see my screen. Make sure you come over to my YouTube channel. It's The Pretty House Guy. It's The Pretty House Guy, okay? So nonetheless, let me go over and share my screen with you. Present, share screen. All right, so now I'm sharing my screen. Let me go over to, and now, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share with you some of my prompts that I use for ChatGPT. All right, so, all right, so check this out. Best Atlanta zip codes. All right, so I live in Atlanta, Georgia. So one of the things that I wanted to do is, and this is where it comes towards getting education. So I'm not saying don't get any education. However, execution is most important. That's kind of the topic of what we're talking about. But right here, you see, I asked. So what I did was I told ChatGPT what I wanted it to act like, okay? So I put the best neighborhoods for shared living investing are older working class neighborhoods with low crime, with no HOAs, and within walking distance of public transportation. I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm looking to do rental arbitrage for my shared living investing strategy. What are the best zip codes in Fulton County for this business model? And then right here, it spit out the output. When considering rental arbitrage for shared living investments in Atlanta, focusing on older working class neighborhoods with low crime rates, no homeowners associations, and proximity to public transportation is essential. Here are some neighborhoods in Fulton County that align with your criteria. Capitol View, 30310. Peoplestown, 30315. And then there's some additional considerations. All right. So let's go down. So I want to dig just a little bit deeper and give it more information. I'm also looking for neighborhoods where I can rent a 4-bedroom house or more with at least 2 bathrooms for less than $2,000. What neighborhoods around Atlanta fit this criteria? So finding a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house to rent under $2,000 in Atlanta can be challenging due to the city's competitive rental market. However, several neighborhoods offer options that meet your criteria. Here are some to consider. Southwest Atlanta, that's where I have 3 houses at. South Atlanta, East Point, College Park, Decatur, And then I said, give me the zip codes that fit the above criteria. And then, because they just gave me the cities, as you can see right here, I want the zip codes. Southwest 30331. That's why I have 3 houses at. 30349. I got some students with some houses here. 30315. I ain't too crazy about that area. 30344. 30337. As you can see. So this gives us specific zip codes so you can get very granular in terms of the information that you're looking to receive. So check this out. I'm also open to 5 or 6 bedrooms, and I'm willing to pay up to $2,500. What zip codes will work for this in addition to 4 bedrooms up to 2,000 that are older working class neighborhoods with no HOA, low crime, and walking distance of public transportation? All right, look at this. They're giving me the data that I need. So going to what we're talking about tonight, now that I have this data, what do I need to do? I need to do something with this data to make money, because having this information means nothing whatsoever. I know so many people who are so smart, they can tell me every single thing of how to do something, but they're broke. If they're broke, that means they are not doing anything with the information. Being smart is not good enough. It's not. Now, if you want to be a professor and you want to teach, then by all means, go ahead and do that. But if you're really trying to make money, you need to do something with this information to be able to solve problems. That's why we make money as entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs only do one thing and one thing only. We provide solutions to individuals to either help improve their lives or to help prevent something catastrophic from destroying their lives. That's the only 2 reasons we get paid and we exist. That's it. There's no other reason in the world. People, the only time they spend money, you're going to help them move closer to some sort of desire that they have, or to move them away from some potential danger. That's it. The bigger the problem is, the more money that you will make. However, you have to go out there and execute. 2025, here's the theme, y'all. Execution over education. You've watched enough YouTube videos. You've been on enough of these lives. You've read enough books. I want every single one of you who hear my voice to go out and execute. Let's see if I had anything else. No. All right, so let's go back to the live stream. How do I stop screen? All right, here we go. So I'm back right here. So do y'all see what I mean? How many of y'all remember back in, it's probably middle school or high school. Y'all remember the scientific method? What's the rate for a private room? All right, you asked some good questions. Hey, matter of fact, look, I looked that up on ChatGPT. All right, since you're asking questions, I'm going to answer these questions. Okay, let me go share my screen again. Give me 1 second. So I'm using a software right now. So right now I got to execute on the software. I mean, I don't know everything about it. So forgive me for my delay. Okay, I think it's under present. Yep, share screen. Share screen. Entire screen. All right, so let's go back to ChatGPT. Now look, TikTok, y'all missing out. I'm telling you, come over to YouTube or Facebook the Pretty House Guy to be able to see my screen. Same thing with y'all who are on Instagram. All right, so let's, I was actually looking at this the other day. Let's look at it. Here it is, room renter, okay? All right, so check this out, okay? So let's just say that you do want to look up a rental rate, okay? And so let me tell you, this is not exact, okay? You're going to have to do your own due diligence. However, this is a great starting point for you, okay? I want you to analyze my address. So let me tell you this, I get very specific. So let's just hypothetically say that there's a house that you're considering purchasing, renting, whatever it is that you want to do with it, okay? I want you to analyze my address of 1859 King Alfred Drive, Atlanta 30331 for shared living to rent out a room that is fully furnished with all utilities included, as well as Wi-Fi and a washer and dryer. How much should I be charging for a room in this location on December 25th, 2024? And, you know, here's the output. Based on recent data for the 30331 zip code in Atlanta, the average monthly rent for a room with utilities is $884. Given yours is fully furnished, includes amenities such as Wi-Fi, washer and dryer, you may want to consider setting a price between $900 and $1,000 per month. This range accounts for the added value of furnishings and amenities to make your offering competitive in the local market. Here are some factors to consider when determining your rental price. The size and condition. Obviously, larger rooms can command more money, or they're being recently renovated. Location, proximity to public transportation, shopping centers, other amenities can increase desirability. Shared versus private spaces. Offering a private bathroom or entry can justify a higher price. Lease term. Short-term leases might allow for higher monthly rates compared to long-term agreements. To ensure your price is competitive, consider reviewing current listings in your area and adjust based off unique features of your property. And then here's another property that I analyzed. I just put in another address. Based on the information above, it's a 4.2, approximately 2,100 square feet. It's to my when it was sold. In terms of rental, $1,855 per month, with $884 per month. So they said between $900 and $1,000 again. So this is just giving you a rough estimate of how you're going to be able to determine prices. You know, just play around with it. You know, let's just say I would like for you to give me the room rental prices for, I'm gonna put a zip code. Let's just do 30315. All right. So in order to, the median rent in that area is $1,950. For a single family house, median rent is $1,710. So it look like anywhere between $800 and $1,000. So you can just put in anything that you'll like to put in, and that at least gives you something that you can work with. Okay. All right, so let's go back. Stop screen. Right. Get as detailed as you want to get. When you add, when you're prompting ChatGPT, get very, very, very detailed. Let me try something. I've never done this before. All right, let me try something real fast. I've never done this before. Let me try something. Share screen. All right, so let's try something. All right, so check this out. What I'm about to do now. Let's go to Craigslist. All right. Let's go to let's look at apartments. You know what? Matter of fact, let's do Zillow instead. I want to see something real fast. Let's find a house that's for rent. Let's look at a house for sale because it's going to give me the front of the house. I just want to see something real fast, y'all. So what I'm going to do is, all right, so we got this house right here. I don't know if it's going to work, but let's just see. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I'm going to save this image. So this is in Charlotte. I want some in Atlanta. We can do Charlotte. It don't matter. So we see this is 9154 Snow Hill Court in Charlotte. That's in the university area, 28269. I used to live in Charlotte. All right, so I'm going to save this. let's just put Charlotte house. All right. So I'm putting this in my downloads. Let's go to save. All right. So now what I want to see is I want to upload just the image, and I want to see if they can give me what the room rental price may be. Okay. I want you to give me the room rental rate for this house that I am uploading as an attachment. All right. Pull it from computer. All right. I just want to see if this is going to, I've never done this before. I'm not sure I was able to do this, but let's just see. Okay, so from this picture, they're not able to figure out what the address is. To determine rental rate for rooms in the house, I need to analyze the location, size, amenities. Since I cannot extract detail from an image, could you share the address and relevant information? All right. We already know it can analyze the address. So we pretty much know it's going to be able to do it. All right, so it said you may want to consider rental price between $900 and $1,000. That's in the university area. I'm pretty familiar with this area. You can probably get more money in this area than that, but that's still a good, estimate right there. But I know you can get more money for that particular house. All right, so let's leave studio. Oh, no. I'm about to go. All right, cool. All right, so let's get back to the program at hand. So, like I was saying earlier, how many of y'all remember the scientific method from school? So, in the scientific method, you have a purpose, and your purpose is what experiment are you looking to run? Okay. The next thing is the hypothesis. The hypothesis is, okay, what is my educated guess, right? And then the next thing you need to do is the actual experiment. Okay. And then after you do the actual experiment, you got to collect data. And then once you collect the data, you draw conclusions. And how many of y'all been in school and say, when am I going to use this mess in real life? What's interesting about the scientific method, that is how we process all information in our brain. No matter what it is that we do. If we're going grocery shopping, you may say, okay, I need to buy groceries that's going to feed my family for the next week. Maybe it's Sunday and you want to go grocery shopping for the week. So you're able to prepare meals for the week. Okay. My hypothesis is this, the total of my groceries are going to be $200, whatever. The number doesn't mean anything. Okay. So the actual experiment is you actually put in the items into your shopping cart, right? And then once you're doing the checkout, they're going to start ringing up the items and everything. And then from there, you're going to be able to draw your conclusion. The total may be $216.17. All right. The conclusion that I drew was, okay, this costs a little bit more, but I wasn't too far off. Or it may be, it is sometimes you're buying all this extra stuff because you see all this stuff on sale. Next thing you know, it's $287. You're like, wow, okay. I really went off, I really went out of my budget. That's a conclusion that you're able to draw. The same thing, let's see. Right, Ayana. The same thing happens, in business. Our purpose may be, okay, I'm going to invest in real estate, okay? The hypothesis is if I'm able to acquire this house, I'm going to be able to make some money, right? Okay. So the actual experiment is going to go through, okay, now what I need to do is I need to do my due diligence, all right? Do your due diligence. The way that you're going to do your due diligence is you may need an appraiser for the house. You may run some comps for the house. You may try to secure financing, and then someone, goes out and get an appraisal on the house and everything. You may have a contractor go out there to inspect the house to see if there's any repairs that need to be done and get an estimate. And then based off of that information, you're going to be able to draw a conclusion. Okay, is this the type of house that I should acquire that's going to be profitable for me so I can, be able to cash flow, be able to flip it, whatever your overall objective is. I can name a million things. Let me tell you something fun. Let me tell you another thing I can do. So I was tutoring these guys. So I used to tutor. So when I was in college, so for one, I went to school for engineering. I used to tutor calculus when I was in college. All right. So anyway, I was only a freshman too, which is kind of dope because I placed out of calculus 1 and 2 when I was in high school. But nonetheless, I was in college tutoring for the school engineer. So a lot of these people are like, when am I going to use this mess in real life or whatever? So nonetheless, I was telling them a little story. I said, okay, fellas, let me ask you a question. I was talking to some guys. All right. So I said, fellas, look, when you go to a club or whatever, what is your purpose? Why do you go to the club? Some of the guys, I want to have a good time. I say, you're lying. You're not going to the club to dance and have a good time. That is not why you're going to the club. All right. And then someone finally said, okay, I want to meet a nice looking young lady. I said, there you go. That is your purpose. You want to meet a nice looking young lady. All right. So you walk into the club, you're looking at this young lady. She's looking at you. Your eyes connect. She looks at you and then she smiles. And then you kind of smile back and then she smiles or whatever. So your hypothesis is your educated guess. What's the educated guess? If you look at her, she's looking at you, you smile, she's smiling. Your educated guess is, you know what? I think she's feeling me. Yeah, I think she may be interested in me and everything. All right. So how are you going to know if you're interested? Now, you got some people, I hate to say it, but they're little punks or whatever. They're just going to walk away and ignore the girl. That's crazy. Your purpose is to meet a nice looking young lady and you're just going to walk away because you're scared to talk to her. Or what you do is you go back like you do in middle school, you get your homeboy to go talk to her, which is that's kind of lame. All right, y'all, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. It's 2024, probably be 2025. But nonetheless, your experiment is you're going to go introduce yourself to that young lady. So me, I'm gonna be real with you. I ain't had no game. My game was I didn't have no game, but I was confident. I'll just go up and introduce myself. She may be with a group of other young ladies. I say, hey, my name is Idris. I saw this attractive young lady. Would it be okay if I can take maybe 1 or 2 minutes of her time to introduce myself to her? That's my game. That's it. I'll just introduce myself. All right. So, we have a little conversation, ask a little bit about each other. And then, so what I need to do now is I need to do my data collection, right? I'm asking her some questions and everything. And the final question that I need to figure out is, okay, what is the best way for us to get in contact with each other? Basically, back in the day, they said get them digits, basically their phone number, right? So if I get her phone number, what conclusion do I draw? She's interested in me. Now, if I don't get her phone number, that really ain't happened that much. But nonetheless, in case it did hypothetically or whatever, she's not interested in me, or she's probably playing hard to get. But anyway, you see how we use the scientific method in every single thing in life. And that is the whole reason of why we need to execute instead of educate ourselves in order to be able to move ahead financially. It's the same thing like going to the gym, okay? Most people, when they prepare for the new year, I want to get in the best shape of my life and I want to move ahead financially. Those are the main 2 goals that we all have for ourselves, right? So what happens with a lot of us? We'll get the gym membership. We may go buy some equipment, if we want to work out at home. A lot of y'all, especially during COVID, you got those daggone Peloton bikes, right? Well, we also, what do? We may go to the grocery store and we get all these healthy meals and everything. We're getting the little Ninja, the little Ninja blender so we can make smoothies. We're getting the protein powder. We're getting the omega-3 vitamins. We're going to eat real healthy, right? Okay. Now, what happens if we don't make it to that gym? Are we going to get in better shape? No. We can read about getting in shape all we want to. We can watch all these videos all we want to. Are we going to get in shape if we do not go to the gym or we do not exercise at home? No, it's impossible. So what makes you think you're going to be able to make money by reading all these books, watching all these videos on YouTube, listening to all these podcasts? It feels good. You know, I'm gonna do another video. You know what it's called? I actually got this term from Alex Hormozy. It's called mental masturbation. That's all we're doing. It feels good. You know, we're talking among our colleagues. We're gonna get rich. We're gonna make all this money. This is gonna be my year. We're staying up at 3 o'clock in the morning, going to all these conferences and stuff. And I'm not saying anything is wrong with that, but I really want 2025 to be the year of execution. Because if you go out and execute, you're going to figure this thing out. I promise you, you will start making progress. But what happens is, and this is just the way the human brain works, we don't execute, but we know we should execute, right? So what does that do? That creates fear and anxiety inside of us because we're not moving ahead. We know there's something that we should be doing, but we're not doing it. And the more we don't do it, the more anxiety and fear it causes in us. And how do we overcome that? There must be some more stuff that I need to learn. No, you need to go out and execute. Earn while you learn. The most beautiful thing about the business model that I teach is that you really have no risk. You can go out, execute. The worst thing that will happen to you is you're going to stay where you are. You're not going to lose any money. Your credit's not going to go to hell. You're going to just stay where you are. However, as you get better, as you improve, as you execute more, you're going to get better. And then not only that, you're just going to find someone who's very motivated. It only takes one person to start making some money. And then from there, that's going to build up your confidence. That's going to build up your belief. I know growing up, I was academically gifted. I was a straight A student, okay? And I grew up in Houston, Texas. I was selected to go to the school called ASKU. It was one of the top, elementary schools in the United States of America. We were actually doing high school level work in elementary school. And so for me, I wanted to be an astronaut or I wanted to be a doctor. That's what I wanted to be when I grew up. They made a lot of money. And all I knew is if you're smart and you want to make a lot of money, become a doctor or engineer or lawyer, something like that. I wanted to be an astronaut. I wanted to go out of space. All right. That was my goal. But nonetheless, you know, going to that school was just, it was just a goal of mine. I was going to go there. Eventually, I probably would have went to Harvard, Yale, Stanford, somewhere like that. Okay. But anyway, my parents got divorced when I was 8 years old. We ended up moving to Huntsville, Alabama. My mom was a professor at Alabama A&M. All right. So we stayed there for 2 years. And then we moved to North Carolina. Moved to this little country town called Wilson, North Carolina. That's where my mom was raised, as a matter of fact. You know, I wanted to kind of, I wanted to fit in and everything. So, all the black guys and everything, they played sports. I didn't really play sports growing up. I was like a academic. I was that tall, skinny, lanky guy, in the classroom. I was the only black guy in the classroom or whatever. But nonetheless, I wanted to fit in or whatever. So I remember trying out for basketball in 7th grade. This is the funniest thing. I remember I went to go play basketball with my father one time. And my father was just making the shots and everything. I was like, man, my father's good. And I was out there, I don't know how long. I refused to leave until I made a shot. I was out there probably hours. I have no idea. And because, the thing about basketball is, you have to have some level of skill, Like I said, I had never played before. I was just tall. Everybody thought I played basketball. No, I sucked. I was horrible. So anyway, I tried out for the basketball team. I got cut 7th grade. I tried out again. I got cut 8th grade. I tried out again in 9th grade. I got cut again in 9th grade. But because I was executing, I was working on my game, I finally got my rhythm between 9th and 10th grade. I ended up starting varsity on 10th grade. And then I just went on, had an amazing career or whatever. I was being recruited by all these colleges. And then my senior year, I went up and dunked on somebody. Somebody ran under me. I tore all the ligaments in my back. But fortunately for me, I was a straight A student. I could go anywhere I wanted to go academically. So I ended up going to North Carolina State. What's ironic about that is I always made the football team because I'm very aggressive in nature. I remember trying for the football team in 8th grade. I didn't even know what position to try out for because my parents never watched football. They were like, well, you're tall and fast. You try out for wide receiver. The problem is I didn't know how to catch the ball, but I wasn't scared to hit anybody. So I played football 8th and 9th grade. But to make a long story short, I go on to college. My freshman year, I ended up walking on the basketball team. And, NC State is big-time basketball. We had a private plane. We're flying all over the world. It had the best restaurants. I got to go to Puerto Rico. I got to go to Italy. I got to go to Switzerland and everything. And it was just an amazing experience for me. And the thing is, I knew I wasn't going to the NBA because I was the last guy coming off the bench. And they don't draft people who only average 0.5 points a game. But the thing that I got to witness and see, so many of our players went pro. I saw the level of dedication that it takes to become a success. And then it's funny, remember, so I played basketball at NC State for 2 years. One day I just woke up. I said, man, it would be cool to play football. And it was either my junior or senior year. I don't remember. But nonetheless, now keep in mind, I only played football 8th and 9th grade. I didn't play anymore in high school. I just woke up and decided I wanted to play football. So I went out to the spring practice and everything. And lo and behold, I was on the football team. If y'all football fans, our quarterback, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame, was Phillip Rivers. We had so many people who played in the NFL on that team. And I just got an opportunity to really witness what it takes to become a success. And that's what really helped me in business. The thing that I love most about business for myself is the closest thing that I get to playing sports. It's the closest thing that I get. But, we have to go out there. We have to prepare. But then it's all about execution. So that's, those are just some of my biggest takeaways, from my life and everything. The biggest thing that I've learned from everything is that you got to fail forward. There's no such thing as failure. You're only getting feedback. Anything that you do in life is a feedback loop. Either you're going to have a success or you're going to miss the mark. If you miss the mark, start over again. And you keep going, you keep going, you keep going, you keep going. And then success is inevitable. The most important thing is to know that you are running your own race. And another thing is everything is not going to work out perfectly. You may do this whole entrepreneurship thing. It's not working out. You may have to go back to work. There's nothing wrong with that. You go back to work and you let your job finance your dream. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not one of these people where I say, quit all your job, burn all your bridges and everything and go out there. No, that's stupid, especially if you have people who are relying on you. As a matter of fact, just to be transparent with y'all, that's actually how I destroyed my relationship with my son's mom. So this was back probably around 2005. All right. So my son at the time, he was 2 years old. So it's right when I started getting into real estate. Okay. So I was doing like lease options. I was doing houses. Now this is back in the day now. These houses were about $400,000 a year. I mean, $400,000. Okay. I was doing lease options and I made good money doing that or whatever. I remember I used to watch The Apprentice. Before we knew how Donald Trump was an asshole, but nonetheless. Anyway, Donald Trump, he's doing these $100 million deals and stuff. And I was like, man, that would be great to do a $100 million deal. I was ambitious. I was 25 years old. I was ready to take on the world. So nonetheless, I watched The Apprentice and I'm like, man, I'm going to do one of these big deals one day. And I'll never forget, I went to church that Sunday and my pastor, he had a vision to redevelop the whole community with the church being the focal point. So I want y'all to picture, I want you to picture HBC, the neighborhoods that surround HBCUs. So generally, I used to binge on Prince. Yeah, I did too. So I want you to imagine the neighborhoods that are near HBCUs, except Hampton University. Hampton's not in the hood. The rest of them, most of the ones I know, they're in the hood. But nonetheless, in that neighborhood, it was in Raleigh, it was St. Augustine's College. There was a lot of drugs. There was a lot of alcoholics. There was a lot of prostitution. There was a lot of homeless people. That kind of gives you an idea of the area of the neighborhood. And it was right in Raleigh towards the corridor on New Bern Avenue, headed towards downtown, okay? So there was about, we did a feasibility study. There's about 430, 450 houses in that neighborhood. The total acquisition and development, it was going to be a $115 million project, all right? Now, I'm ambitious now. So at the time, I was in financial services. I was making good money, okay? I told my pastor, look, I don't have any experience doing anything with this size and scope. However, I'm willing to help you out. I know you're going to need some help. Not only that, to show you how committed I am to this, I'm willing to quit my job and do this full time because I really believe in what you're doing. And I know we're going to knock out a home run. Now, that was the 25-year-old version of myself thinking about the millions that we're going to make. Now, I go home and I'm talking to my son's mother. She's a Black woman. She's an RN, working 12-hour shifts. I tell her I quit my 6-figure job to go after this multi-million-dollar dream. We have a little 2-year-old son. So what do you think she did? She wasn't too happy. And as she was communicating to me, I was interpreting it as, oh, you don't believe in me. So we kept bumping heads. And we all know what happened eventually. You know, that relationship, you know, it went away. My whole thing to say this to say is when I give people advice now, if you're young, you have nobody who depends on you, go out there and do whatever it is that you want to do. You can always sleep on somebody's couch. You always get an air mattress and sleep somewhere. But if you have people that depend on you, you can't just quit everything and just run after something, especially if you have zero experience. The only time I would advise somebody to quit what they're doing is if they have experience as well as maybe some savings, a network, and a track record of success in whatever it is that they're going after. Then that makes sense. But otherwise, you should not just burn all your bridges and just hope and believe that you're going to become successful because, you know, it can get real nasty outside. But nonetheless, what I'm going to get ready to do is getting kind of late. Do you have any questions about anything whatsoever? Answer some questions, and then we're going to go ahead on and talk to y'all tomorrow. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start doing these lives on a consistent basis. One thing I want all of you to do, especially if you're on Facebook, I want you to go to my business page, okay? My business page is still my name. It's Idris Talib, the Pretty House Guy. Matter of fact, why don't I just share the page with y'all? Make sure you go to that page because starting 2025, I'm going to be going live on that page rather than this one. You see me on my personal page. If you're on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, you're good. All right. So let me share that page so you know what it looks like. All right, so let's go to pages. All right, so here it is. This is the page right here. Idris Talib, and then exclamation mark, that's not exclamation mark, the quotes, Pretty House Guy. So this is the page I would like for y'all to follow because I'm only going to be going live exclusively on this page starting 2025, okay? Oops, Lord, I'm about to log off. I'm so sorry. Hey, what's up, Eric? No, you're not too late. Make sure you watch the replay as well. So I tell you what, since none of you have any questions or whatever, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I'm doing right now, okay? So the reason why some people are apprehensive in terms of execution is because they don't know exactly the exact steps to take. They feel a little lost. It's kind of like I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, okay? And let's just hypothetically say that my goal is to get to Los Angeles. I'm on the East Coast. I'm looking to go to the West Coast. There's a variety of ways that I can go to get to Los Angeles. Some are more efficient than others, right? So now, if you're looking for a shortcut to success, especially with the business model that I teach or whatever, I am taking on some students, getting ready to prepare for 2025 because it's going to be an explosive year. And I'm going to talk more about that in some of my other lives that I'm going to be doing. And basically what I've done is I've created a business model to where some of you, you work hard, you're a high achiever, you've done everything right, but you haven't saved enough money for retirement. Maybe a lot of your money has gone to pay down debt. A lot of your money has gone to, ensure your kids have the quality of life that maybe you didn't have for yourself. Maybe you have aging parents and you're providing some financial assistance to them. And, you're a bit apprehensive. You're like, okay, what's going to happen to me? Because the thing is, you can't take out no loan for retirement. And then maybe you want early retirement. You've worked hard all of your life. You've done everything the right way. Right now the stock market, well, it's been a little down, but it has been rallying, especially since Trump got voted into office. However, what do we have another 2008, 2009 when it's time for you to come out when everything is dropping 38%? Right now, we see how high interest rates are based off of all of the hyperinflation as a result of printing all the money during COVID. These are things that we have to consider. And even if you do save a lot of money in your retirement account, when that money comes out, it's fully taxable at your tax bracket. Do you think taxes are going to be higher or lower at retirement? So these are some things that you want to consider. The most beautiful thing about share living investing is that it creates cash flow immediately. This is spendable cash flow. You can use this cash flow to offset any of the bills and expenses that you have. You can utilize this cash flow maybe to fund some of your retirement accounts, maybe accelerate the pay down on debt. There's so many different things that you can do. And the best part about it, this cash flow comes from other people going to work every single day to put money in your pocket. Not only that, it's recession proof. People will always need safe, clean, affordable housing until the end of time. And that's what you're providing. And it doesn't just have to be at-risk populations. You can deal with wealthy individuals. And, we're going to be talking a lot more about this because I have some very interesting business models that I'm working on. But nonetheless, if you enjoy this, make sure you share this with somebody. And then I'm going to see y'all tomorrow's Friday. I may go live tomorrow. I'm not sure. But nonetheless, just make sure you follow me. Make sure you go over to my page and, show me some love. If you're on YouTube, just show me some love. And then if you are interested in having a conversation with me, just drop the comment ready. And then I'll make sure I get in touch with you. Anyway, thank y'all for coming out. I'll see y'all soon.